Since 2009, there have been 288 school shootings in the U.S. Canada, 2. France, 2. Germany, 1. Japan, 0. Italy, 0. UK, 0. Top 10 civilian gun-owning countries, the number of firearms per 100 residents, starting with number 10. Iceland, 31.7. Lebanon, 31.9. Finland, 32.4. Cyprus, 34. Canada, 34.7. Uruguay, 34.7. Montenegro, 39.1. Serbia, 39.1. Yemen, 52.8. United States, 120.5. Gun-related killings as a percentage of all homicides, UK, 4%. Australia, 13%. Canada, 37%. United States, 79%. Firearm-related death rate per 100,000, U.S. comes in at 10th with 12.21. The next developed country, Finland, 3.25. Since 2009, close to 70% of guns recovered at Mexican crime scenes originated in the United States. In 2022, 86% of guns involved in crimes in Canada originated in the United States. We have a gun problem.
Yeah.
I don't really even know how to respond to most of these statistics. Because, I know all of these things because I've been arguing with people for the past 2-3 years about all of this stuff happening. And it's just, to hear all of it listed out is mind-blowing. That people can still sit here and think it's not a gun issue. It's a whatever issue. It's a mental health. It's us not having enough Jesus in our lives. It's whatever it is. Obviously, those are problems. Mental health, lack of morals, whatever you want to call it. Those are issues that we face. But those are also person issues that literally anybody can face anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
The difference between America and other countries is that we have so many more guns than literally anybody else, and those are just the reported ones.
Exactly. I saw another stat, too. I should have written it down. It was close to it was maybe less than 1% of guns that are actually registered in the United States.
Right, yeah. Because I think about it all the time, and I'm like, people get guns for gifts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People just pass them down to their children and their friends, and they just sell them on eBay. And
Yeah, my guns that I personally own, and again, I have no problem with guns themselves. The guns that I personally own came from my dad handing them to me. They were gifts. I didn't have to buy them.
Yeah.
I just imagine how many more people out there are the same way, how many more guns there are out there that we have no idea about.
Yeah.
And why our country, and specifically Texas, because that's where this latest issue happened, is pushing that we need more.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know if you saw a while back, our darling Governor Abbott decided to post something on his Twitter about how at the time California was buying more guns than we were. And he was like, come on, Texas, we need to step it up. We need to buy more guns. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He loosened laws which allowed this most recent attack, the guy that committed it, bought those guns legally.
Yeah.
At 18 years old, you can walk in with $500 cash and walk out with an AR-15.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did.
There was a video I shared on my Instagram story. I think I saw it from Corbett first. But the guy he said something along the lines of everything that Republicans are asking for has already happened. Like everything that they're calling for, this school had done. They had doubled their security budget since 3 years ago, something like that. They had put in armed security guards with weapons. They had new security. They put up a fence. They did drills. They did all the things that Republicans are asking for.
Right.
And this still happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy, when he was walking into the school, I've read that he was confronted by the police or the armed security guards or whoever, and they just let him walk in because they thought he might have body armor and they couldn't do anything about it. So he just walked right in with these guns, started killing children. It was 91 minutes from the time the police got the first call until they finally stopped him.
Yeah.
They were there, like, immediately. As soon as they got the call, they got dispatched, and police were on the scene. And it was 40 minutes before they even went into the school. And then at that point, they went in to rescue their own children and left everyone else's kids. When they finally got to the classroom, they said, well, he barricaded himself in, so he can't do anything about it. But he just locked the door. He didn't barricade anything. They took an oath to serve and protect, and then they just threw it out the window at the first sign of any kind of issue.
There's
but
protocol.
we think more guns is the answer.
Right.
There's, I've heard that many times, and it's just, I was talking to Chris before we started recording, but I've gotten to the point where I'm just done having these conversations with people when they don't provide any data. Because that's all it is. It's propaganda. It is propaganda from NRA, from corporations, from the people who are obtaining power to get more money and power.
That's all it is. They don't care about people. They don't care about children.
No. We had a conversation, Chris and I, a debate with someone on my Facebook, on my account, and we kept asking, show me the data. It's like, what do you just want me to Google things? Sure, go for it. Try.
Yeah. At least anything.
Yeah. My daughter is going to kindergarten this year.
Yeah. My son just graduated high school. Yesterday was his graduation ceremony. And the entire time I was there, I was scanning the audience, making sure nobody was doing anything crazy, finding my exits. Like, how am I going to get my daughter out? Because my son is down in the ceremony thing. Like, I can't do anything for him, but my daughter was right next to me. How would I get her out in the event of an active shooter? I couldn't fully enjoy my son graduating. And don't get me wrong, I got my pictures, I got my videos. I was so proud of him, so happy for him. But part of me was just like, anything could happen at any time.
Yeah. And
there's nobody here to stop it.
288 since 2009. This is not it's a problem every once in a while. That is
144 times the next nearest country.
Yeah.
Not 144 more. 144 times the next nearest country. And it's like 50 times all of the other countries combined.
Exactly. I had another conversation. This one was more civil, but had another conversation with someone recently, and they're a Christian, and I don't know if I want to claim that for myself right now, but we were talking about essentially everything boiled down to at the root of everything, it's about the heart, it's about sin, it's about all these different things. And I'm sorry, but show me that data. We are the most religious country in the world with the most religious people, and yet you have these European countries that are not as religious, except for maybe a few that are Catholic, but mostly not, and they don't have these problems.
Yeah.
If you want to go for that, if you want to root for that, if you want to advocate for those things, go for it. But we have evidence that these laws, simple things that don't even require taking away your guns. You got the red tape laws. You got the just universal background checks.
Common sense gun laws.
Common sense gun laws that don't even necessarily take away your guns. Just do something. If you don't want to take away your guns, then my God, try something.
Somebody I saw posted it was a meme, obviously, that they reposted from some other site and reposted. But it was essentially like, why don't we just put into place the same laws that we have for abortion?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
48-hour mandatory waiting period, a sponsored note from your parents and or partner. You have to interview with a friend or something like that. You have to get a note from a doctor that says you know what you're doing. You have to watch a safety video. You have to drive to a different town because there's only one gun store per state. That would make sense to me even to do something like that.
Yeah.
We're not suggesting we take away everybody's guns, but preventing this stuff from happening in the future.
Yeah.
Because that kid bought these guns legally and recently.
Yeah.
And then bought ammo, if not the same day, it was like just the next day. No background check.
Hundreds of rounds.
No questions asked. The amount of ammo he bought should have raised a red flag or something. Like something. Anything.
Yeah.
Some kind of plan in place to at least mitigate the damage. Because everybody's right. You're not going to eradicate all evil with laws. Criminals will still get guns or whatever have you, sure. But most criminals are opportunists. If it's even a little difficult to do something, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
If it takes more than a trip to Walmart to go buy a gun and just throw the cash at the guy and go do whatever they want to do, they're not going to do it. They're not going to go through the waiting period. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. And if they do, they're going to be the ones that are going to find a way regardless.
Right. Again, these excuses that they're bringing up, things like that, things like, oh, we can't get rid of evil, or let's just arm the teachers. Like, all of these things are secondary because we have evidence of other countries who have done the things that we're asking, and it works. Australia, perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
Japan, these guys you have to take like a 3-week course, have mental health evaluations,
Yep.
and then you get a license, and then you have to do physical training, and then you have to renew that license every few years.
Yeah. Germany has a rule where you have to be part of a shooting club, which means
Yeah.
you're registered and insured.
Yep.
You have to continuously qualify like 3 times a year, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, you have to go to the range on, like, you have specific set times that you have to go to the range and prove that, hey, I still have this gun. I still know how to use it.
Yeah.
If at any point you don't do that, they take it away.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the excuse for things like mental health, too, it's so...
When half the time they don't even believe in it.
Well, not only... Yes, good point, because actually I wrote this down just to make sure everyone... Abbott cut $211 million from departments that oversee mental health programs this past April.
America's already awful at mental health. Let's talk about that first,
Yeah.
because it's, first of all, mental health isn't covered by like half of the insurances
Right.
out there.
Yeah,
And the ones that do cover it cover like 6 sessions per year is what my insurance
Yeah.
covers.
yeah,
I have 6 sessions in a month, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's how many I should be having. But
And-
I'm not, because my insurance doesn't cover it right now. So,
And it's also like they want to do this mental health counseling beforehand. And I'm like, who's going to pay for that? Y'all worry about that constantly.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay
Right,
for that? Your
right.
tax dollars?
you're taking the money out of those programs that would cover it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
what are you doing?
man, if only there was a certain universal thing that we could do to ensure that everyone
Right.
has access to mental health care. Texas is 50th in mental care access,
In one of the worst countries for mental health care.
dead last.
Oh, my God.
All these things like guards and everything. Again, we already talked about this. Like, yes, we can do those things, but we tried, it didn't work. But even if you were to go that route, that's the same exact logic of saying, well, you know what, we have a faulty house with electrical issues. Let's just put a fire truck outside of every single house.
That way, when it catches on fire, not if, because it's when at this point.
Right.
We'll just put the fire out
Yeah.
after it's already done the damage. That I've been seeing like a lot of people post pictures of schools where they're like, oh, this school has an armed guard.
Oh, yeah.
Or there's pictures of like
The school did too.
old veterans standing outside, just standing there watching over the school. And people are like, oh, thank you so much. You're doing such a great job. They're not doing shit.
We
No.
shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
No.
We should not have to do that. Teachers should not have to have guns in their classrooms to protect our kids. Like, that just logically makes no sense. And what if a teacher, mental health, back to that, has a bad day?
Yeah.
You think they're not going to go rampage? That's even easier access for that.
You handed them a gun.
Yes.
And-
Instead of paper and pens and crayons and whatever supplies they need,
It's
you're
in the
handing them
classroom.
a gun.
And second, behind all this, giving teachers guns, I saw a black TikTok creator who basically said, as a teacher, he's like, look, as a teacher, I do not want to do that, because if there is an active shooter on a campus and police come in, I do not want to be waving around a weapon.
Yeah.
He's absolutely going to be targeted.
Oh, my God.
100%.
So,
Do you know how many kids in Texas alone have brought guns to school since the shooting? There's been at least 3 known
oh,
like,
yeah.
instances since the shooting.
Which was, what, 2-3 days ago?
Yeah.
So there's that.
Just bring
Also, let's talk about gun safety in general. Like, the most accidents for gun safety happen inside of homes where a gun is. You think that's not going to transfer over to classrooms?
Right.
Right.
Some nosy kid distracts the teacher while his friend goes to the desk to get the gun and
Yeah.
does whatever they want or whatever they don't mean to do. Something happens. People will get hurt. That's a stupid
just-
idea in general.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is when these instances happen, and like in the most recent case, the guy bought it himself, kind of thing. But in other cases, they just take it from their parents. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And why are the parents not getting
Oh, yeah.
repercussions
Yeah.
for this? You know what I mean?
Because we've refused to set even laws against that to criminalize parents and things.
Guns,
it doesn't exist.
Guns are not registered and insured the way vehicles are.
Which is...
Yeah.
The thing that kills me, like, I saw the laws on shoes at the airport. Like, one guy had a shoe bomb one time that didn't even work the way he planned, and now we all have to take our shoes off at the airport and get scanned. But we've got 288 school shootings by May, and we can't do anything about guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When I was in high school, there was, I forget which shooting. It was in Dallas, I'm pretty sure.
Which one?
Right. But I was a senior, and I was in a criminal justice class, and me and a few of my classmates and some other classmates from a few other, like, leadership classes were asked to come together and to try and figure out an escape plan in case a mass shooting happened at the school. And they asked us, like, what would you like to see on campus, like, to ensure your safety? As students, we were asked that.
Yeah.
That...
Oh, they can't come up with a plan. Might as well ask the kids. That's the thing. Like, in Texas, we do tornado drills. In California, they do, like, earthquake drills. They do flood drills. All these natural disasters. And on top of all of that, now kids are doing active shooting drills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we do a tornado drill on Tuesday, an earthquake drill on Wednesday, and an active shooter drill on Thursday. Like, it's an inevitable thing that could happen. It's a natural disaster.
That's the logic that everyone keeps using. It's like, well, criminals will always find a way. Homie, not if there's weapons for them. If there's no weapons for them to get, you can look at I shared this graph on my story or my Instagram and Facebook of the states that have stricter gun laws versus those that don't.
Right.
Yeah. And the more guns in those states, you see there is higher violence, higher murder or firearm death rates in those states. Now, people go like, well, what about Chicago? First off, they're only 28th in the most violent cities in the United States. Secondly, where do you think those guns are coming from? Most of them are coming from out of state, this neighboring states that have weaker gun laws.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Because they can just pop over the state line, grab a gun, drive right back, and do whatever they want to do.
If we eliminate the guns,
it's not an immediate fix either.
No,
people are like, well, that's not gonna. We can't do all of that. Not in a day, no. But over time, yeah,
again,
100%.
We have examples though. Australia literally did that.
Yep.
They bought back guns. Canada bought back guns.
Australia did it after one mass shooting.
Yeah,
we had 288 mass school shootings this year alone.
So if you haven't caught them by now, you can kind of tell where we stand on this. I will do my best to release this as soon as I possibly can. We're recording this on Friday. I want to try to release it tomorrow, but what I'm going to do is in the show notes, I want to have a link to all these articles, all these stats that we shared.
And also places you can help.
Yeah.
Petitions, donating. If you can volunteer your time and you're close enough, please do that.
Or your blood.
They definitely need blood. I'm going actually next week. I'm going to go get my blood drawn so that I can donate some blood as well. I don't know if it's going to help anybody there right now, but truthfully, it's probably going to happen again sometime soon, so maybe it'll go to help them.
What I would ask for any of our listeners who consider themselves on the conservative side of the spectrum is just to observe, just to look at the data. Consider what you know, because this is me and Chris in a nutshell. Harley, I don't want to speak for you, but we grew up in this gun culture. We have our own weapons. We obtained our own weapons. We have gone out shooting. We have, hell, when I was in middle school, I had a conservative flag background on my computer. I was as conservative as it got. But what has allowed me to look at these different things, and by no means, very few people out there are calling to get rid of all guns. But my God, if it eliminates all this, I'm down for it.
I would 100%. If I knew I could prevent something like this from happening by giving up my guns, I would today, right now. I'd have done it yesterday.
I just don't know why we're okay with so many kids dying. So many people dying.
There is a priority. So I ask just to look, just to observe, to, as to the best of your abilities to critically examine what you know. Google, research, conservative, liberal, whatever, look up that data and do your best to look at everything that we have and truly consider, do we have a problem? And if so, are there ways to fix it? And look at how other countries, because we are very much alone in this problem. Very much alone. I'll end it with this. Ted Cruz was interviewed the other day by someone from Sky News, and he asked him, why is this not happening anywhere else in the world? And he just refused to answer. He diverted the question, and
He just walked away.
we have to face the reality. We are the only country that has this problem. The data shows it, and there's ways to fix it. I ask that you look, you question yourself, you question who you've been, question everyone. I don't care who you question, just question everyone. And just look, just observe, look at evidence. We obviously hope and we pray and we have our thoughts towards those who have been hurt and who have lost, who have been the parents and the other kids who were there, the kids that were in the rooms that had to cover themselves in blood to
That's very clearly a very hard topic to talk about. And it's really got us fucked up. Nobody should have had to experience this. And as difficult as it is for us to talk about, children lived through it. There's so much that we can do to prevent this moving forward. And all we ask is that something happens. Somebody brings some kind of change to help fix this situation.
Yeah. With that said, I don't even know what to say. We love you. We hope you learn. We hope we can grow. We demand change. Stay safe, everyone.